There is this incredibly powerful, kind of hidden force that's running pretty much our entire modern world. I mean, it's in space, it's in the cloud, it's probably in your car, and it is almost certainly in your pocket right this second. We're talking about an operating system that has quietly become the absolute backbone of our digital lives.
But if I were to ask you, hey, what's the world's most popular operating system? What's the first thing that pops into your head? For most of us, the answer seems pretty obvious, right? We're thinking about the computers sitting on our desks. And yeah, if you look at just the desktop market, the numbers tell a really clear story. Windows is the undisputed king, holding this massive 73.7% chunk. Apple's macOS is way back in second, and Linux, well, it's just this tiny little sliver at about 2%. So, case closed, right? Aw, not even close. Because looking only at the desktop is like staring at the very tip of an iceberg and completely ignoring the colossal giant hidden just beneath the surface. Because the moment you look beyond that desktop, the numbers start to tell a completely different story. This is the world where Linux isn't just a player in the game, it is the dominant force. And this is where the script gets flipped on its head. The servers that run the internet, nearly 80% Linux. The public cloud that hosts giants like Amazon and Google, over 80% Linux. And get this, the world's 500 fastest supercomputers, that's a full 100%. Every single one. And that doesn't even count your smartphone. If you're using an Android, it's powered by the Linux kernel, which makes up over 70% of the entire global market. So what even is Linux exactly? Well, unlike Windows, it's not just one thing. At its heart, Linux is a kernel. That's the core component that manages all the hardware. Then, companies and communities take that kernel and bundle it with other software to create what's called a distribution, or a distro. You've probably heard of ones like Ubuntu or Fedora. So think of the kernel as the engine, and the distro is the entire car that's built around it. Let's just put that dominance into perspective for a second. When we talk about the most powerful computers on the entire planet, the ones solving humanity's biggest scientific challenges, there is literally zero competition. And anytime you stream a movie or use a web app, you are almost certainly talking to a Linux machine. A staggering 83.5% of Amazon Web Services, the biggest cloud provider out there, runs on Linux.
And that device you're probably holding in your hand right now? Yep, Android, which is built on the Linux kernel, absolutely dominates the global smartphone market. This fact alone makes Linux the most widely installed operating system in the entire world.
But its versatility is just wild. It's not just in these big, obvious places. Linux is the silent workhorse inside your smart TV, it's running the entertainment system on your flight, and it's the brains of the infotainment console in your Tesla or Toyota. It's in your home router, it helps fly SpaceX rockets, and it even powered the Ingenuity helicopter on Mars. So, the big question is, why? How in the world did Linux conquer all of these critical fields? What's the secret sauce that makes it the go-to choice for everything from supercomputers to smart fridges? Well, it all boils down to a few core advantages. First and foremost, it's open source. Anybody can see the code, change it, and share it. This transparency leads to incredible security. With millions of eyes on the code, bugs get spotted and fixed super fast. Then there's its legendary stability. Servers can run for years without a single reboot. It's also crazy cost-effective because there are no licensing fees. And finally, it's unbelievably scalable and efficient, running just as well on a tiny little sensor as it does on a massive supercomputer. Which, of course, brings us to the elephant in the room. If Linux is this secure, stable, and powerful engine driving the rest of the tech world, why is it still such a tiny player on the desktop? Why don't more of us use it at home? Well, a lot of the answer lies in these old, outdated myths that just refuse to go away. So let's tackle these head-on and see what the reality of the modern Linux desktop actually looks like today. You've probably heard the one that Linux is just a black screen with a blinking cursor for programmers, right? Not anymore. Modern versions like Ubuntu have beautiful, intuitive interfaces with app stores, just like you're used to. Or how about there's no software? Also false. Thousands of free apps are available, from browsers like Chrome to full Office suites. The big one? You can't play games. Well, thanks to Valve's incredible Proton project, a huge portion of the Steam library now runs beautifully on Linux. And poor hardware support? That's a ghost of the past. Today, most hardware just works right out of the box. And look, if you still think it's just for tech experts, check this out. A ZDNet editor taught his 79-year-old mother-in-law how to use it. They didn't even speak the same language. His point was simple. If she could do it, you can do it. Those old barriers are just gone.
So ultimately, the choice really boils down to this. It's not about what you're giving up, it's about what you gain. You get to leave behind being locked into one company, high costs, and constant data collection. And in return, you get total freedom and control over your computer, along with way better security and privacy.
And this whole evolution, it is not slowing down one bit. The open source community is constantly innovating, pushing the boundaries of what a desktop OS can even be. The future looks incredibly exciting. We're seeing deeper integration with AI, more sophisticated graphics, much better support for touchscreens and gestures. There's a huge focus on seamless cloud integration, better battery life for laptops, and even more ways to run apps from other operating systems. So as Linux continues to be this invisible, ultra-reliable engine that powers our digital world, from the cloud all the way to Mars, it raises one last really fascinating question. With all the progress we've seen with how user-friendly modern versions have become, is the final frontier for this hidden giant the one place it hasn't conquered yet, your desktop?